You want to pick? You want to pick?
Okay, here we go. So we are ready for another installment of Kedushas Levi on Parshat. Okay, so this week actually has a ton of Torah and Parshat Vayetzei, and so I did it took me forever to learn through this, and I picked a couple of ideas, a couple of paragraphs that I think are shareable, and
A lot of the ones that aren't shareable.
maybe next year. Oh, come on, I really lost my notes. Okay, so we're going to be notes. Okay, so so at the beginning of Parshat, so we find Yaakov Avinu, and he goes to sleep. He goes to sleep, and he has a dream. And in the dream, so there's a ladder, and on the ladder, so there's angels of Hashem going up and going down. I'll just tell you a very funny story. Not like a lot of there's a lot of people that write books, and not every just because a person writes books doesn't mean that it's worth reading, right? Okay, so this is a story about a guy that he was in the Beis Medrash, that he was he was so meticulous. He was learning 18 hours a day, and he never learned with the Chavrusa. He was always learning by himself, and so he was always just writing down. He didn't stop writing, and nobody knew what he was up to. Nobody knew what he was very like a hermit. He was stayed to himself a little bit. And then he died. He was 90 years old. He had been learning for the past 75 years for 18 hours a day, and he had loads and loads and loads and loads, tons and tons of papers that he'd been writing for 75 years. So he left a will, and it said in the will that he wants to be buried with all of the things that he wrote, all of those Chidushei Torah. Okay. Why would he want to be buried with it? I don't know. Maybe he thought that it would be a merit for him, that when he's going to the world to come, he wants to come with all of his with his Torah, with his how much he toiled in Torah. And so anyway, so the people of the Beis Medrash that they were upset because they were thinking that, hey, this guy, he has so much Torah. He was the masmid of the whole city. He was learning so much. He didn't stop, and he has so much. The world deserves to know his Torah. He's not allowed to be so selfish to keep his Torah to himself. So they brought their argument to the rabbi of the city, and he said, "Look, listen. He wrote the will. He wants to be buried with his thing. With all his ksavim, but it's not fair. The world deserves to. He's such a huge Talmid Chacham that the world deserves to bask in the light of this amazing Torah scholar." So the rabbi said that what we'll do. We'll look at the first page. Look at the first page, and then we'll decide based on the first page. Okay, so look at the first page. And we're talking about there's hundreds of thousands of pages. Okay, he looks at the first page, and it was Parshat Vayetzei. Okay, Parshat Vayetzei. Okay, so it's a parsha. It's a chiddush on the pasuk. Shalom. So, you ever read a book that Shoshana? Did you ever read a book that wasn't really worth writing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that's where we're reading. It's just I just remember this funny story that there's this guy that he didn't stop writing his entire life. He wrote 50,000 pages. of Chiddush Torah. He was in the base medrash from morning to night. He didn't stop writing. And then when he died, he left a will that he wanted to be buried with all the things he wrote. Okay, so the people that were saying, no, it's not fair. We want to enjoy how much Torah he brought into the world. It's such waste. And so he brought it to the Rav, and the Rav said, let's look at the first page. Okay, so they looked at the first page. It was Parshat Vayetzei. So it says in the pasuk that there was that the angels, they were going up and down with a ladder. I don't understand. The angels have wings, so they know how to fly. So why do you need a ladder if you know how to fly? Mm-hmm. Good question, huh? Okay. So he writes in his Ksevim. So the Yesh Lamar, it could be that with Yaakov, so it was baby angels. So they hadn't yet grown their wings. So that's why they needed the ladder to come down. So the Rav said, okay, it's okay. You can bury it.
What did he say of the wings?
Yeah.
What did he say? That they didn't.
It was baby angels.
Baby.
Baby angels. So they didn't have wings. Okay, so it says. So this is the dream. This is the dream of.
Great question.
So this is the dream of Yaakov, that there's the angels going up and going down, and then it says V'hine Hashem nitzav alav, and behold, that Hashem is standing by him. Okay, so Rabbi Yitzchak, so he explains that there's two kinds of tzaddikim. Okay, there's one tzaddik that his motivation in life is that he knows how much he's doing with every mitzvah that he does in this world. In other words, that this is something that Rizal talks about, something that the Nefesh HaChaim talks about at length, that we have to appreciate how much we accomplish with every mitzvah that we do. In other words, that there's something called tikkun ha'olamot. And what does it mean, tikkun ha'olamot? It means that
saving the whales.
There's different spiritual worlds, and so in the spiritual worlds, so there's a certain amount of dissonance, there's a certain amount of destruction, and this destruction in the spiritual world is actually the source of all of the destruction and all of the chaos and all the havoc in the physical world. Okay, meaning that the source of everything that's messed up in our messed up world, the source of everything is really because it's messed up in the higher spiritual world. Okay, so if you want to save the whales, so you know how to really save the whales, because there's a certain energy. There's an energy that the whales are dependent on the spiritual energy, and that energy is lacking, and when you say a bracha on fish, so no, really whales aren't fish. When you do a particular mitzvah, so that is metakin, that light in the higher spiritual world, and that. Okay, this is a very beautiful idea. In fact, there was a rabbi by the name of the Netziv. That you heard of him? He was the Rabbi Avraham Kilstein. He was the head of the Volozhin yeshiva. So Netziv had an interesting custom that when, I don't know exactly how he did this. Okay, but when he was sick, so he would call a doctor and he asked the doctor what's wrong with him, and then he would give him the diagnosis. He'd tell him what's wrong with him, but he didn't listen to the instructions. He only listened to the diagnosis. Why? Because he wanted to know what's wrong in his body. So once he knew what was wrong in his body, like he didn't know. He just knew that something hurts. Okay, but he didn't know if it was his liver, or it was his heart, or his whatever, or his pancreas. He didn't know what what part of his body was messed up. So once the doctor would tell him what part of the body was messed up, so he understood what spiritual part of his life is connected with that part of his body. And so he knew, it must be that I was speaking Lashon Hara, and that's why. It must be that I wasn't giving enough tzedakah, and that's why. And he understood what part of his avodas Hashem, what part of his life was connected with that particular part of his body. So he fixed that, and then he would get better. Okay? Meaning, so the point is, and that's this is don't try this at home. But obviously, we have no idea what the connection is between the different parts of the body and the different mitzvahs. But the idea is very cool. The idea is that he understood that any ailment, anything messed up in this world, the source of the messed upness is really in something spiritual. So if I'm able to fix it at the source, so then I don't have to fix it. Then it's automatically it's just by default is going to fix the mess up in the physical domain. Okay, so that's so this is the world. This is the idea of tikkun olamas. So there's one of the things that we're doing when we daven. This is called tikkun olamas, where we're fixing the higher worlds. And this is like fixing things in the source. And this is to a certain extent this is what every mitzvah is doing. Every mitzvah that we're doing. So part of what the mitzvah is accomplishing is it's fixing the higher spiritual worlds. Okay? And by nature of the fact that we fix the spiritual worlds, then everything else trickles down into having a good physical world. Okay, so that's the idea of tikkun olamas. So the idea that the same thing by the way on the opposite. Same thing that when God forbid a person does nevera, so it wreaks spiritual havoc in the higher worlds. Okay, that it messes up the whole like
spiritual ecosystem.
Perfect. Yes, ecosystem. So this is and this is very this can motivate a person. A person realizes how much weight every action that we do has. So that can motivate them. Like you think that you're just saying a bracha. You think that you're just putting on tefillin. That you have no idea. You have no idea. Every time that you put on tefillin, so you're building another continent in the higher worlds. It's like everything in the higher worlds. It's all much bigger and better. Rabbi Nachman once gave a metaphor for this. That it's like. He said that sometimes a person feels frustrated. That it's like I feel like I'm barely moving. Like I'm not getting on. I'm not moving forward in life. I feel like I'm just trying and like I've been working on trying to not get angry for the past 5 years, and like okay, 5 years ago I used to get angry like 20 times a day, and now after working for 5 years I only get angry 17 times a day. So it's very frustrating, I would hope that I would have been able to, once I'm working at, so that to see the fruits of my labor, So Rabbi Nachman said a metaphor that if you have I don't know how he explained it. The idea is like if you have something connected on something connected to a string, okay, and you have something in the middle. So if I turn the middle 1 centimeter, so the thing and the string is 200 meters in the sky. Okay, so I turn this ball 1 centimeter, but at the end 200 meters up, so it's moving very far. Yeah. So we have to appreciate the fact that we are in this world. We are the center. We are the one causing these higher equations, the shifts, reactions. Yes, that to take place, and the fact that we don't see so much for our efforts, we only see a couple of centimeters, but we should be aware that it's much more than meets the eye. Okay? Every tiny one small step
Man,
for man, one giant leap
for humankind.
for humankind. Yes. Okay, so that's the story of Tikkun Olamas. Okay, that's the who said that?
Neil Armstrong.
I thought he was the astronaut. I thought it was like the president that said it. It was Neil Armstrong. Okay,
The
so
astronaut, right? Yeah, it's Neil.
right.
It's Neil Armstrong, the astronaut, right?
He was the astronaut, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's the story. So he stole it from Rabbi Nachman. Okay.
Plagiarized.
Yes. So this is the idea. This is the idea of Tikkun Olamas. This is the he says actually a very amazing thing. The Nefesh HaChaim, that this idea of Tikkun Olamas is based on the fact that our soul is connected to the highest places. So he says that this is only by a Jew. This is the difference between what a Jew does and what a non-Jew does. That only a Jew's soul is connected to the higher worlds, and therefore every little thing that we do has these higher effects in the higher worlds. But with a non-Jew, he's not connected to the higher worlds, so it's whatever it is what it is. And Nefesh HaChaim writes that it says that when I don't know who it was, maybe Nebuchadnezzar, when he destroyed the first Beis Hamikdash, so he went after I don't know if it was him or if it was Titus, in the second Beis Hamikdash, that he went into the Holy of Holies and he took a Torah scroll and he took a prostitute and he did Nevera on top of the Torah scroll in the Holy of Holies, and so Nefesh HaChaim writes that when he did that, so it didn't really make such a difference. It didn't really make a difference because when a non-Jew does Nevera, so his soul is not connected to the higher worlds, so it doesn't wreak spiritual havoc the way it does when a Jew does. So that's why, like Hashem said, like what do you think, like whoop-de-doo, like you think I'm impressed with your big averas, like your averas don't come close to my children's averas, my children's small averas. Yeah.
They don't have such a high neshama.
Right, because they're not connected to the source. So when he writes that when a Jew even has a thought of an avera, so it's as if he's taking that avera and stuffing it into the highest worlds, which is obviously much worse than doing something down in this world. Right? So that's what he was saying, that a Jew, because of the spiritual connection, because our soul is connected to the highest places, so everything you do, whether it's for good, whether it's for bad, so it has tremendous effects. Yeah.
I don't really understand this concept, but I think that the idea of, first of all, of this non-Jew soul not connected to a higher place, is that really true, or is that are we in any type of we're looking to the higher spaces? I mean, God created non-Jews too, right? And He created them for a purpose, and I don't really understand what that means. That they're if they're souls also, right? We're all souls.
We're all souls.
So what does the more elevated soul mean? I don't really, maybe in my puny brain have that concept.
This is part of a larger conversation about like what's the difference between Jews and non-Jews, right? I'll just tell you something that's pretty straightforward. That people like to say. I think we mentioned this here. That people often say that I think that the most important thing of being a Jew is to be a good person. So let me say this before, right? So the idea is that a non-Jew is supposed to be a good person. So what's the Jew supposed to be? A Jew is supposed to be holy. Meaning that the difference between the purpose of a non-Jew's life, the purpose of a Jew's life, is that a Jew has an added meaning to his life, an added mission in his life, and that is the spiritual aspect. A non-Jew is not expected. He's not expected to have a connection with God. He doesn't need to have a connection with God. He needs to be a moral person. He needs to be a good person, which is a lifetime to become a good person and a moral person. It takes a lifetime to be an ethical person. But he's not expected to be a holy person. He's not expected to be a godly person. He's not expected to be a spiritual person.
I hear you. yeah, maybe it's a long conversation. I struggle to know how we differentiate souls.
How what?
How we differentiate souls. Like, meaning I get that like we're at Har Sinai and we got the Torah and that like the other nations said no.
Mm-hmm.
But on a soul level, I guess I don't really understand what that means. That we're different. Like it's like almost like I think of like DNA. You know, we're all different people and have different DNA. But like, what about it was the fact that we accepted the Torah, like that changed our souls, like because all the souls were at the.
You know, Hashem actually addresses your question.
What?
Hashem actually addresses your question.
Where?
In the Torah. He says, don't think that you're special because you're good. Don't think that you're special because you're awesome. Don't think that you're smarter than everybody else. Don't think that you're more talented than everybody else. Don't think that you're more righteous than everybody else. It's not about you. It's just that Hashem loved your ancestors. It's really not. It's really not about you. It's really not. Right? It's just that you were picked. You were picked. That you were chosen. You were chosen. It's not because you're special. It's not because you're talented. It's just that Hashem picked your ancestors because they were loyal to Him, and that's why He gave a special mission to their descendants. Anyway, we can talk about this different time. Anyway, so this is the first motivation of a tzaddik to do good things in the world, and that's called tikkun olam. He says that this is hinted to. This is hinted to in this sulam. This is hinted to in the sulam of Yaakov, in the ladder of Yaakov, that the angels, which are going up and going down, this is what they're coming from Yaakov. That the angels, the ladder is from Yaakov, because this ladder which is coming from Yaakov, this is Yaakov's soul. And Hashem is showing Yaakov that you are a ladder, that your existence it starts in the bottom, but it goes into the heavens. Okay? And therefore, every little thing that you do, it's sending angels up, or chas v'shalom, it's sending angels down. Okay, so this answers up the question of our friendly massmate. So that this is what Hashem is telling him, that everything you do has tremendous spiritual effects on the higher worlds, whether it's going up, whether it's going down. Okay, so this is the first message, and this can be a very big motivation. Okay, when a person recognizes that everything I do, it has tremendous weight, so then I can take it can motivate me to make sure to put an oomph into everything I'm doing. Okay? But he says, but this isn't really the highest level. That there's a higher level. There's a higher level. This is something that a person might need at the beginning, when if the thing that's holding you back is that does this really matter? Does this really matter? So then I'll answer you, yeah, it really matters, because look at how amazing. Look at what's really happening. That you think, what's the big deal? Oh boy, I'll show you what's the big deal. Okay, that's the motivation. That's what he's trying to say. That everything is, and this can be a little bit stifling. You know, it can choke you. It can stress you out when you think. If you think about this too much, then you'll just go nuts. You know?
So if you think about all the chemicals and all the plastic and tins that we're using, and then you'll try to be super crunchy, and then you'll get too crunchy and you'll give it up and you'll become silky again.
I'm not familiar with this terminology. Am I crunchy or silky?
I don't think you're crunchy.
Am I crunchy?
You have these snacks on the table.
Okay, so this is motivation number one. But he writes that there's a higher level. There's a higher level. ולאחר כך, כשכבר חזק בעבודתו, אז אין חשב כלל רק להשם יסברך, והשם יסברך יסעני גבוה, שהוא יהא מרכבה לשכינה. So that there's a higher level. There's a higher level. The person's motivation is not about that everything I'm doing has such amazing effects, has such awesome repercussions, but Why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm doing what I'm doing because I really, really just want to be close to Hashem. Okay, and so if really all I care about is is because I want to be close to Hashem, so then of course everything makes a difference. Like if everything I'm doing is about my relationship with God, so of course everything makes a difference. If I'm living in the consciousness of I want to be close to God, so then everything like that's a motivation to make the right decisions, right? So it's very and this is the higher level. This is the higher level. The higher level is the person is not motivated because things are so stressful, because things are so of such magnitude. But the higher level is that my motivation in life is that I really want to become close to Hashem. So if you think about it, so it says, and this is what it says. This is the next pasuk. This is what we have a chumash here. And this is why the next pasuk is V'hinei Hashem nitzav alav. That if once you grow, once you after you take the motivation of V'hinei sulam tzvarsha v'rotzim magia Hashemayim, but after he gets the motivation of the fact that everything I do, there's malachim, it's going earth and b'yardim, so V'hinei Hashem nitzav alav. Then I get to a higher level that I don't care about the magnitude of my actions. That I'm doing it for a more simple reason. I just want to be close to Hashem. Okay, so this is how he presents these two levels, and the truth is these are really that it's two different ways of living life. It's two different ways of living life. There's one guy that lives life that I want to accomplish. I want to make it. I want to do something with my life. And something we talk about a lot. Usually we talk about this as a good thing, right? That as opposed to what's the opposite of doing something with your life? Chilling, right? People that just want to chill, right? So usually we say that Judaism's message to the world is that life is not about chilling. I was saying this in the beginning, they misheard me, and they said, life is all about chilling. So life is not about chilling, life is about doing something. Okay, so the Rabbi Yitzchak says that's a lower level motivation. That's to think that life is about doing something with your life, that's a lower level of motivation, because really that's also selfish in a way. It's also it's instead of just smoking weed all day, so I want to do something that I'm going to get more. What's the word? Feedback, more appreciation, more. No, more that other people will look at me and say, "Whoa, he's so cool." Okay.
Admiration.
Yeah, I think I was thinking of a different word, but that also works. Okay, so this, but that's also selfish. It's also I want the fact that people look up to me. I want the fact that people think I'm something, right? And when I'm doing it just because I want to be close to Hashem, so that's not considered selfish. That's just I want Hashem's glory to be in this world. Right? I mean, we were talking about this a little bit on maybe a week ago, that this is success. I want to be the biggest masmid. I want to be the biggest tzaddik. I want to be the. It's not about. It's that, but rather it's all about Hashem. It's all about whatever Hashem wants. It's really not about me. And this is a much higher level. And it's to throw out our ego. Okay, this is the first idea. The first idea of the Berdichever that I wanted to share. Okay. Now later in the Parsha, so I'm skipping quite a bit in the storyline. So in the meantime, so Yaakov goes to Lavan, and he wants to get married, and he works 7 years for Rachel, and then he gives him Leah, and then he gives him Rachel, and then and then he has 12 kids. And he has 12 kids. Okay? So. So one of the stories about having his 12 shvatim, 12 tribes, is the story of Yisachar. The story of Yisachar. So how was Yisachar born? So it says that Reuven found these dudaim, these special kind of plant, and Rachel wanted to. She liked them. She went to Leah and she said, "Oh, your son found you these nice dudaim. I want some too. Could you give them to me?" So she says that I'll give it to you, but for a price. What's the price? That it's really your turn to be with Yaakov tonight. So instead of being with you, he'll be with me instead of the dudaim, instead of this flower. Okay. So Yaakov. I don't know if I was Yaakov, I wouldn't really appreciate that they're doing deals with me, but
after having 4 wives, you can't be picky.
So it's a very good point, actually. So from this interaction, so Yaakov was with Leah that night, and then she became pregnant with Yisachar, and then when Yisachar was born, so what did she say? So she says, Natan Elokim et tzchari, Hashem gave me my reward, Shenatati shivchati le'ishi. It's my reward. Hashem gave me my reward because I gave my maidservant to my husband. Vatikra Shema Yisachar. Okay, what do you mean that she gave her maidservant? So it says that after Leah wasn't there, after Rachel wasn't able to have kids, so she decided maybe I'll give my maidservant. Maybe that'll be like if my maidservant is able to have children from Yaakov, it's as if I'm having children from Yaakov. And so after Rachel did it, so Leah did the same thing. And after Leah did it, so then she had Yisachar. And then she says that Hashem is rewarding me. Hashem is rewarding me for what? Hashem is rewarding me for giving my maidservant to Yaakov as a wife. Okay. So the question is that at first glance that doesn't seem to be the point over here. That it seems to be that Hashem was rewarding her for what? For the fact that she valued being with Yaakov so much that she was able to give up the dudaim to be with Yaakov. That she really appreciated Yaakov and her relationship with him, and that seems to be a much more like direct reason to give up. She's already going that Hashem is rewarding me for something, right? So you see this; it's a direct cause and effect. I gave the dudaim, I got Yaakov, I got a son. It seems to be so clear. Why would she say that Hashem is giving me a reward for the fact that I gave my? So explains like this. He says something very beautiful, and that is that why do people want kids? Why is it important? Why is it an important thing to have kids?
It's a mitzvah.
It's a mitzvah. Well, that's so religious of you. Why is it a mitzvah?
Hashem created the world to be populated.
Okay.
Leaving your mark on the world. So the way to leave yourself.
To what?
The way to leave a piece of yourself in the world.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
For Torah to continue.
Uh-huh.
Compounding returns.
What kind of returns?
Mitzvahs.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, nice.
Being like a co-creator with Hashem.
Beautiful. So nobody here is saying what the secular people say. Right?
Tax write-off.
What?
Tax write-off. all were thinking it. No one wanted to say it. So I said it.
You were the only one.
That's so it's such a non-Jewish thing to say, right? It's just why do you have to file taxes in the first place?
It's on camera, and we have to delete that part.
Yeah, when we're
It was a joke.
it's a joke. So what you call it? I remember like, having a conversation with this guy when Tanya was in the hospital. So there was this this Russian Jew, it was like Russian secular Jew that was in the hospital with us. Like we were like the same age, and we're talking, and he was telling me like how it's frustrating for him to it's frustrating for him. It's like so upset. Like why should my kid have a brain tumor? It's like he doesn't deserve it. It's like one thing if I would have a brain tumor, I've already like whatever, but like my kid is. And we started talking, and it's like it turned out like that he was like frustrated that he just wanted to have kids, and like he didn't sign up for these complications, you know. And so I started telling him that you know that like in Judaism, so we're not the reason to have children is not because it's fun. It's not because I think like in the secular mindset. So the reason why to have children is because kids are fun. Yes, kids are fun. So on record, kids are fun. So the Gemara describes this actually in a different context. The Gemara says that the person it's important to have kids because like when you're old, who's going to take care of you? You know? And like, good. That's also true. Yeah. So the good when they're little, the good when they're very, very old. In the middle, they're complicated. So in a secular mindset, so the reason to have kids is because life can be boring. So with kids, it's more exciting, it's more fun, right? But it's really about being selfish, right? Whereas as a Jew, so we're raising kids because we're trying to fill the world with goodness, right? Because we're trying to fill the world with soldiers for Hashem, for more people that are gonna be doing the right thing. You know, Bill Gates thinks that the world is overpopulated, right? Right, and we need to thin out the population of the world. So it could be he's right. It could be that there's too many people, but there's too few good people. There's too few good people. So if you're going to have the good people as kids, so then you should absolutely be having kids because there's actually a lack of good people in the world. Okay, and this is how a Jew looks at having children. That we are in this as emissaries of Hashem. That we're in this world in order to bring goodness and holiness and Hashem's message into the world, and it's a battle going on. In other words, it's the forces of good against the forces of evil, and we have to add forces to the good guys. Okay, and this is what you call it. This is how a Jew looks at having children. Okay, now you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm just struggling with these blatant statements about non-Jews. I don't know why it's bothering me a lot. So I feel like
This time I said non-Jew or I said secular?
no, non-Jew. Like I guess I just feel like
No, I didn't. But okay.
no, meaning about like how non-Jews have kids for the purpose of like they're like it's selfish.
I didn't mean non-Jew. In this context, I meant just secular versus Jewish, secular versus religious.
But every secular person has kids out without a selfish place. Like I feel like it's a big thing.
On a subconscious level.
I mean, I think it's pretty accurate. That's certainly why Jews have way more kids than non-religious people.
Because they look after a certain amount, they say, "Oh no, I can't afford that. It's going to have a lower quality of life. So I'll have 2 kids, and then we have a nice, kind of life that fits my
There's a
style.
lot, and then you see like secular people who adopt 7 kids because they
Yeah, but that's not the
see
norm.
Okay, that's, yeah.
You're
Right, but
talking
like-
about sexual, not, like not religious conception, not the other way around. We're not like blaming not religious people for their evil doings. We're saying the concept.
Right. I guess it hits me in a way of like, oh, they're looking at us like we're just like
We're special.
we're amazing, and like they're not. And that's just how it's hitting
They're
my
amazing
vessel
yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
It's okay.
How I see it is we're all one big body. Everyone has a different duty. You can't say one leg, one this. It's not important. Everything is one. And everyone has to take care of each other. But everyone has a different duty at the same time. So one is the heart, one is the brain, one is the function, one is there needs to be a garbage collector, there needs to be a diamond dealer, there needs to be everything in the world. Everyone takes on a different role. We have a different role in the world.
Right, the non-Jews should be the diamond dealers.
Yeah, I don't know why we have to be afraid of saying the truth. The truth is that Jews have a special role in the world. And we do, out of the whole world, we do bring holiness and spirituality. And that's what we're here for. Not enough to code it and make it, I mean, is a way maybe to say it in a nicer way? Yeah, but it is the truth.
Maybe I'm not as nice or not nice, but we get everything like that. I'm just,
Okay.
I don't want to like go there.
So these are the two possible ways of going about having kids, right? There's one is that I'm in this because it's fun to have kids, it's cool to have kids. It's like I get my tax returns for kids.
I was joking.
What?
I was joking with that, but yeah.
No,
Some people actually.
you were serious. I was.
Name
So-
my book.
Right, the real. All right, no, enough bad jokes. So the first level is the first reason to have kids is because it's cool, it's fun, it's pleasant, and the second reason to have kids is because I believe in my cause, and I believe that my family is a little army, and we're going to be the ones that are going to fix the world. Okay, so I need to add troops. I need to add troops to my army. Okay, these are the two possible ways, two possible motivations in having children. The truth is that if you want to know why is it important to have kids, so there's also another reason, which is I don't think is a motivation. I don't think it's a motivation. And that is that there's things that you can't, there's levels that you can't attain without children. So there's levels that a
You learn
person
lessons in life only
can't
through children.
attain, like patience. Like you don't know what it means to be patient until you have kids, right? But I don't think that's a motivation
That's
that
a
people.
selfish reason too.
Not really. I want to be a better person. I want to be what Hashem wants from me. I don't think it's necessarily a selfish thing.
For me to learn certain things. Well, everything's selfish, but okay.
Right? It's not selfish to want to do what Hashem wants from me. To want to become what I'm supposed to be. That's not really selfish. But I don't think it's a motivation in the first place. I think we should have kids because, right now nobody wakes you up in the middle of the night. And like until somebody's waking you up in the middle of the night, you're not gonna how are you gonna hold yourself back from getting angry so that's what I'm saying. That's like that. The Rabbi Avraham is talking about the motivations. He's not talking about why to have children. Okay. So now back to Leah and Yisachar. So when she said to Rachel, I want in return for my dudaim, so I want to be with Yaakov tonight. So we didn't know why she wants to be with Yaakov, right? It could be that she wanted to have kids, but why does she want to have kids? Does she want to have kids for selfish reasons, just because it's fun, or does she have a higher mission, a higher vision? So that's what she's saying. That look at what I did. I took my maidservant and I gave him as a wife. Now, that is not something you do for fun. It's very unpleasant to have an extra co-wife. Is that the right word?
Sister wife.
Sister wife.
Pelagic.
I feel like it's not the mamish wives.
Oh,
To a double my other wife. Yeah, I guess it depends on how good the relationship is.
in the Torah it's called tzara, no?
Tzara, right? So in the Torah it's called tzara, and the word tzara means pain, and
Pain?
So when you have a tzara, when you have a co-wife, so
Isn't that like a plague that they got in there?
No, it's Tavat. That's
tzaraat maybe or tzira.
Maybe.
Tzara means like it's called tzara b'tzukah. We call nega or machala. So tzara means a bad thing that happens, a bad occurrence. So it's having a co-wife is considered a tzara. Have you ever heard the term I have so many tzaras? No? Okay.
A lot of wives.
What? So no, it's only for the wife. It's called a tzara. So to have a co-wife is called having a tzara. Okay, which is implying that it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant to have a co-wife. Okay, so in case you were wondering. Okay? So in case your husband ever asked you, would you mind if I have a second wife? So you should tell him, yeah, I prefer you don't. Because I remember Rabbi Kilstein was telling us that it's not so pleasant. Painful. So and I did it. I gave my maidservant as a co-wife. So what does that say about me? What does that say about me? That means that I'm not in this for selfish reasons. I'm in this because I really believe in filling the world with soldiers of Hashem. I'm interested in making the Shvatim. I'm interested in making Klal Yisrael. Okay, and that's what she was saying. That of course the reason why she had Yisachar was as a direct result of the fact that she gave the Dudayim in return for being with Yaakov. And she was saying, and my intentions were so pure, and that's why Hashem listened to me. If it would have just been that yeah, I'm interested in having kids because kids are fine, so then who knows if Hashem would have listened to me. But the reason why Hashem listened to me is because He saw that my motivations were so pure, that my intention was that I want to fill the world with goodness. I want to fill the world with kedusha, and that's the ideal reason. That's the ideal reason to want to have children, and to want to have lots of children, and this is the story. This is the story of Yisachar. Okay, last point for tonight. So.
Last point for tonight.
Okay, perfect timing. So it says that Hashem tells Yaakov. Hashem tells Yaakov, Anochi Hakel Beit El. I am the God of Beit El. Okay, so we're learning. So we're going to learn. What does it mean? What does it mean? Why is Hashem presenting Himself to Yaakov as the God of Beit El, the God of Beit El? So what does it mean? What does it mean to have a bayit? What does it mean to have a bayit? What does it mean to have a house? So having a bayit means to have a vessel. Okay. So a person has a life. A person has a life, but he can't have his life unless he has a house. Okay? So my house is the thing in which I have a life. Okay. So to build a house is to build the opportunity for something. So that the house is the kli. The house is the kli. That's why bet is like bayit. It's a house, and the aleph is the or, aleph is the light, and bet is the home. Bet is the vessel. Because first you need the light. The light needs the vessel in order to contain the light. Okay. So so a person when he's going to do mitzvahs in the world, when a person is going to live his life, So you have to make sure that that all the light that you bring down, you have to make sure that all of your light has vessels. All of your light has a bayit. So how do you make the bayit? The bayit hu ma she'adam mechin atzma v'libo mechuvan el habari lasot is a mitzvah v'hachana. That a person, the bayit that you make for the mitzvah is the hachana, is the preparations. It's the preparations for the mitzvah. So the excitement that you have in the preparation for the mitzvah. So this is the bayit. This is the bayit. This is what allows the mitzvah that you do to have a vessel. This is what allows the mitzvah that you do to be able to not just be scattered, to not just be lost. So part of the hachana, part of the getting ready for mitzvahs is the excitement and the yearning for the mitzvahs. Okay, in other words, that when I'm excited about the mitzvah, so it's because I haven't yet done the mitzvah. So the more that I'm excited, the more that when I actually do the mitzvah, so then that mitzvah has a place to. That its light should shine, its light should be contained, its light should be useful, its light is going to make a difference in the world. Okay, this is the difference between a person that does a mitzvah without preparation or a person that does a mitzvah with preparation. A person that A is excited, B prepares, 3 is yearning to do the mitzvah. So that creates a vessel that when you do the mitzvah, so now it's going to shine, it's going to brighten up the world. Okay, and this is all the difference. Okay, now moreover, he says that if I have to pick, if I want to know which is actually more important, is it more important to have the excitement and the preparation for the mitzvah, or is it more important to actually do the mitzvah? So it's actually bigger and better to have the preparation. Why is that? Because it says that if a person wishes to do the mitzvah, so even if he didn't actually do the mitzvah, so it counts as if he did it.
Just by having intention?
Just by having yearning. The fact that the person...
Yearning and intention?
I'm not sure what you mean intention.
Kavanah?
Yeah, I wanted to help somebody, build their house.
But yearning is a different level.
Uh-huh.
They asked for help. I was like, yeah, that's good. I'll do it. I'll donate my time to help them. Never panned out. Still get that mitzvah because I intended to.
Yeah. A person says
all day then, okay?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry?
The yearning is a little bit different. It's like
More like a deeper wanting to do
long-term
it.
project.
No, it's just like actually wanting to do it.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, actually making that commitment. Yeah, it's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're like, fine, I'll help you.
Yeah. No, even saying yes, I'll help us in part. It's also it could not be like could be cheating.
But it goes the other way as well. If we think to do bad things, we also get punished for just our thoughts as well.
No. The Gemara says we're not talking about non-Jewish people today. Get out of here.
What bothers me? I have a cousin who will really I had a cousin. Okay, she grew up in Lakewood. She lives in Lakewood. She's talking about her office that she works at, and she's like, yeah, so we give the guy the dumb work, whatever, the stupid work, or the and I'm just like, I actually made her apologize to me for saying that, so I gave her a piece of my mind. I was like, how dare you? And she's like, no, she's like, I'm so sorry, but it's just this mentality I grew up with that just I don't like it. It's like, and I also don't fully understand, and I think I'd like to understand if people weren't in a deeper way. So,
Okay, so.
Thank you for correcting my
I was really curious.
First few chapters of Tanya.
What?
First few chapters of Tanya.
You mean the first chapter? I actually skip that with most people.
Right.
Yeah. Yes, with I will skip them.
Yeah, you would.
Yes. Okay, so. That's not called handling it. Anyway, so the hachana for the mitzvah the chana for the mitzvah is even greater than the mitzvah itself, in the sense that two things he says. First of all, when I have excitement for the mitzvah, if I wish I could do a mitzvah, so then that wishing, when it says it's as if you did it, so it's as if you did it perfectly, right? Whereas if you actually did it, so then it's never going to be perfect. So in the there's something very beautiful. This is the difference between being engaged and being married. Right? What's more when are you more in the clouds? When are you more ecstatic? When you're engaged or when you're married?
Engaged.
When you're engaged, right? So like
Really?
yeah. So
being engaged forever.
So I have a great idea. So like, let's just forget about getting married. Let's just be engaged forever.
But you can't have children.
Can adapt. So
That's only for guys.
what?
That's only for guys.
Why is everything so? Why are you so in the clouds when you're engaged? Because when you're engaged, so you're imagining. Everything is perfect. Everything is just like it's what you're yearning for. So therefore it's perfect, right? Whereas when you're doing the mitzvah, so when you actually get married, so then it's never perfect. It's never what you thought it was going to be when you're engaged. Okay, so
the illusion will always be perfect.
So of course, if you're never going to have something real, if you're never actually getting married, then there's nothing to yearn for. But in the case that I'm yearning and I'm trying, it just never actually happens. So then that's actually even better. Actually, if I could have a situation that I would always be excited, that it just happens to be that my kala just keeps on saying, okay, just one more week.
Oh, you mean like Mashiach? You keep yearning. He is not strong.
So I saw once from Rabbi Avraham Kilstein. He writes that Tzpiya Yeshua, the excitement for the Geula is even greater than the Geula.
Really?
The awaiting for Mashiach is so awesome that it's even greater than Mashiach himself.
Wow.
Okay?
In what way? When he comes then.
What?
Yeah, it's going to be like a...
Depressed when he comes.
Just the Goyim will be depressed.
Isn't the difference that Mashiach is supposed to be perfect?
What?
I think the difference is that Mashiach is supposed to be perfect, unlike reality.
Right. No, but he's saying that even Mashiach, that the thing itself, the Mashiach itself, is going to be less exciting than the Tzpiya Yeshua, because
But like, does this yearning make him perfect?
but when you're yearning, that yearning is perfect.
No, does our yearning make him?
She's incredible, Mr. Claus. And as a kid, you always like imagine it's some, and you grow up, it's like, no, it's some old drunk that they paid money to sit there in a suit and, put you on a lap. That's like a turning moment for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, not when
Sometimes they can be creepy or
So
something.
the question is, are we like that innocent childhood
Is that
state of
Mashiach?
mind? Is like
It's the
everything's
Babich Rebbe.
I think you'd have to delete this video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really Babich Rebbe. Yeah. So,
He's doing some gullahs, so he's getting dressed.
so hold on. So that's the first reason why. So the first reason why the hachana, the tzpiya, is even greater, is even greater than mitzvah stuff, is because it's perfect, because there's no flaws. And something to drink. And the second thing is because there's a limit to how many mitzvahs I can do, but there's no limit to how many mitzvahs I can want to do. And that's why it says that even mitzvahs that even like mitzvahs that require a Beit Mikdash. So I wish I could do it. I wish I could do it. And the wishing I could do it, so it's as if I did it. So I'm able to connect to everything. I'm able to connect to every mitzvah by wishing I could do it. So he says that this is what it means. This is what David HaMelech writes, that Ani ba'ani hachinoti Hashem elef alafim, that in my poverty I prepared for Hashem thousands of presents. That to actually do tzedakah, you need to have money, but I was poor. So when I was poor, so I wasn't able to actually give tzedakah, but I was able to wish that I could give tzedakah. And to wish that I could give tzedakah, so I wished I could give endlessly. So when you have money, so then you can only give as much as you have. But when you don't have, and you wish you could give, so then you wish you could give the most. Okay, so this is the hachana. This is the hachana for the mitzvah. The wishing for the mitzvah, the excitement for the mitzvah. So this is the hachana. This is the vessel. This is the bayit. This is the bayit for the mitzvah. This is the bayit for all of the light, and this is what Hashem is saying. This is what Hashem is saying that you Yaakov, so you are the one making the bayit. You are the one who is bringing down the vessel through which I'm going to have the light. And it's true that you're not actually building the Beis Hamikdash. You're just bringing down the idea that there is going to be a Beit El. You're bringing the ability for Hashem to have the Shekhinah in the world. But I want to tell you something, that making the fact that you're bringing down the possibility, bringing down the opportunity, bringing down the vessel, that's even greater than bringing down the light itself. Okay, that's what Hashem is saying. Anochi hakel beta, that when we're bringing down the vessel, we're bringing through all of our yearning, through all of our excitement. So that's way holier. It's way holier than doing it itself.
So we're at the same place now as Yaakov Avinu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, almost like that's B'yad Yeshua, mamash. Right, Shemizken, to really have true yearning, true. I want to be good, Hashem. I really, really want to be good. That's want to. And that's better. That's holier than being good.
Can I ask a annoying question? I think I've been annoying questions tonight. But if that's the case, then why would you ever do a mitzvah? If you're just used to urine all day.
Because then it's not the full
Eventually
intention.
you're gonna get to it.
That's like we were saying before about staying engaged all day. Right? If
There's
it's
a certain level of which you have a content will be the end will be the wedding.
if you're really excited to do the mitzvah and you have a mitzvah, so do it. Otherwise, you're a hypocrite.
It's greater to urine than this.
Ooh, could you get judged if you yearn for a mitzvah and then you had the opportunity to do it, you didn't do it?
That means that yearning is really garbage.
That you did for it?
You weren't really yearning.
You're not really yearning. Okay. What's that mean? Like, if you really want to do it,
When you get the opportunity, you will actually do it.
Like if you miss your friend from America a lot, and then your friend comes to visit, and then you don't make the time to see them, did you actually miss your friend?
You did, and then you just realized that you didn't want to. You didn't want
It's not a real miss.
What do you mean? What? I can't miss somebody yesterday, but not miss somebody.
I missed her on paper. That's it.
It wasn't a real message.
Yeah.
You
I don't agree with
yearning.
I don't agree with you. I think that you could really desire something deep